Continuing on at the very end of John, bring some of the fish that you've caught, Jesus said. So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net to the shore. There were 153 fish, and the net did not tear. Now come and have some breakfast, Jesus said. None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them bread and fish. It was the third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. After breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Then Jesus repeated the question, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know I love you." "Then take care of my sheep," Jesus said. A third time he asked, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep." All right, so getting over here to Daniel, and I like reading this in the King James. It was the third time that Jesus showed himself to his disciples after he was risen from the dead. Then when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?" He saith unto him, "Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." He saith unto him, "Feed my lambs." He saith unto him a second time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" He saith unto him, "Yea, Lord, you know that I love thee." He saith unto him, "Feed my sheep." He saith unto him a third time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou more than me?" Peter was grieved because he said unto him a third time, "Lovest thou me?" And he said unto him, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." Jesus said unto him, "Feed my sheep." I have heard it described that the love the third time was agape and the other two was phileo. I'm not sure about that. But the agape love is to keep the commandments. It is the true faith, the true love and true faith. Remember, faith is the proper call and the proper walk. It's not what you say. And though a certain type of love in the New Testament was affection, the love that is required and in the instructions given to the sheep is always about agape, which is the proper love, which is keeping the commandments. All right, moving on to Daniel. Continuing on as we get to the mark of the beast, we're going to go through all the kingdoms of Mystery Babylon. As for me, this is the secret not revealed. As for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that I will make known the interpretation to the king, that thou may knowest the thoughts of thy heart. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Nebuchadnezzar's dream statue.
According to Wikipedia, Daniel 2 tells how Daniel related and interpreted a dream of Nebuchadnezzar II, king of Babylon.
Then we look at the images. Interesting. Sorry, it's so pixelated. It's very small. Anyway, here, let's keep going. Thou, O king, sawest, behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. And the reason why it's terrible, all the kingdoms of Mystery Babylon would not be terrible to the king of Babylon. The reason why it was terrible was because this does include the Antichrist, mark of the beast, the final kingdom. So to that end, it's terrible. And so the feeling that the king had of this terrible was because of that. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast of arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part iron and part clay. Thou sawest till the stone was cut without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were the iron and the clay, and broke them into pieces. So this is now going to God's wrath, which destroys Mystery Babylon, which is part of the what's so disturbing to the king? Because again, it's the end times, the Antichrist, beast kingdom, and God's wrath that's so disturbing. It will be disturbing when the book of Revelation is opened in real time for us, which could happen any day. Thou sawest till that stone was cut without hands, which smote the image upon the feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them into pieces. Then was the iron and the clay, the brass and the silver, the gold, and broken into pieces. It became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the earth, and that would be God's kingdom. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. Now Nebuchadnezzar does not believe in Daniel's God, which is the God, but he will, and he tells you his own story as he writes chapter 4 of Daniel. That's the end of today's study. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.